You know, I read a lot, and I do mean a lot. I read a lot of really good books. So what I've decided is that I'm actually going to start doing some unsolicited, not solicited from the authors, book reviews. I mean, I think it would be really good for especially the people that follow me to know some of the things that I read, and also to know why I find these particular books interesting. On this particular book, the way that I came about to have the book was interesting because I attended a conference called Catalyst in Atlanta last year, and I sat with a woman who I'd never met before. And we sat and we talked, and we pretty much spent the day together, even though we didn't know each other before that actual meeting. Well, it turns out that she attends Andy Stanley's church. And she'd been waiting for Andy Stanley to have this particular book so he could sign it for her, because she wanted the book and she wanted it signed and everything. And during one of the intermissions where people were going out purchasing books, having their books signed by various people who were there, she had the opportunity to go out and get the book signed by Andy Stanley. Now I have to tell you, it's a book that I probably would have never picked up. But the end of the day, at our parting, when we said our goodbyes, she looked at me and she said, "You know what? I'm going to give you this book. This book is for you." This is a total stranger. I mean, other than the day that we spent together at Catalyst, I really didn't know her. And she gave me this particular book. The title of the book is The Grace of God, and it's by Andy Stanley. This book was so interesting that if you can see where I highlighted and put all the little tabs in there, and I just took a tab off, so I don't know where that was, but where it's highlighted the tabs are, because there is so much about grace in this book. What he did actually was began at the beginning of the Bible. Like he says that a lot of us say, you know, grace is the New Testament and the law is the Old Testament, but he actually goes from the Old Testament, from Genesis, I mean, all the way through the Bible, the entire Bible, to the book of Revelation, to show you the grace of God. And he does it in such a way that as I was reading through the book, so many times I was so dumbfounded, because it was as though you've heard these things a million times, but never really looked at it that way. Now, I can't say that 100% I agree with everything that he said, but I can say that I came away from reading this book by Andy Stanley, The Grace of God, with a much broader aspect of the grace of God, and such an awe and love for the grace of God that even sometimes it seems like when things are very wrong, God still has his loving hands on us. And so, yeah, I would recommend the book. It is by Andy Stanley, and the title is The Grace of God. I know that you'll come away from reading this book the same way that I did, with a much broader look at God and what his grace really means.